All right, welcome back to the Wicked Kitchen, guys. Today we are making a seafood linguine featuring Good Catch Fish-Free Tuna, also some king oyster scallops. The aromas, the smells in this kitchen right now are absolutely amazing. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned, you guys. All right, so we're gonna cook this dry linguine for this dish. I'm gonna season the water. You wanna season it pretty well. Just adds a lot of flavor to the pasta once it's cooked. You wanna make sure you have plenty of water, a straight-sided pot, and that it's at a roaring boil, okay? When it comes to dry pasta. All right, let's start off on the seafood linguine. We're gonna make a number of components here. The ingredients that we have some trumpets or king oysters. We're gonna slice these up. We're gonna make a mushroom scallop. There's lots of videos on our channel about that already. And we're gonna use a Good Catch product. This is our fish-free tuna. This is a company that we started. We've launched in the US. We're in the UK as well. Super excited about this and the impact that it's gonna make on the seafood industry. The only fish-free tuna on the market that is actually delicious. So make sure you check out Good Catch. You can get it in most retailers. All right, so let's start off. We have some mushrooms. I'm gonna heat up a pan. And this is something that these mushrooms, Derek is also known as the mushroom whisperer. This is also a featured recipe in the Wicked Healthy cookbook. You can check that out. All right, so I'm basically cutting them to scallop size, the larger ones. All right, these are gonna be folded into the pasta. All right, so you can easily skip this recipe, these mushrooms in this recipe and just go with the Good Catch product. But because the emphasis is on seafood, we are doing a number of different items in here. So we're just gonna cut these up. The smaller ones, a little bit more reminiscent of a bay scallop. Growing up in New England, seafood is pretty much what we grew up on. Not a lot of meat, but a lot of seafood. All right, so all of these other bits and pieces, I'm gonna save these for a later recipe, all right? You can mince them up, put them in an Excel, you can shred them up, you can put them in burgers, you can fold them into any kind of pasta. Absolutely delicious, definitely save the scraps. I'm gonna go ahead and score each side here. This is more for appearance, but you know what? The nice thing about scoring also is the sauce that's gonna be with this pasta. We're making a wine butter sauce. It just is absorbed into those mushrooms. And the end result, when you actually cook these, they're quite chewy, so it is very scallop-like. Very seafood-like. We're just gonna pan sear them. So I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil in the pan, make sure that it is fairly hot. And I'm just getting, I wanna make sure obviously that they're cooked, but you wanna get some good color on each side, okay? All right, these are gonna be folded into the pasta. If you wanna speed up the sear, you can always add another cast iron pan to the top, and just that weight right there is gonna give them some really nice color. Not gonna press them so much, you just want the weight to press them down enough. We're not trying to really take out the water here. We're just trying to get some color for the sear. All right, let's check those out. Those are looking good. All right, let's flip those and we're gonna season them. Those are looking good. Some pretty little things. All right, I'm gonna season this just a bit. And then I'm gonna lower the heat down to low to medium. I'm gonna hit it with a touch of butter, vegan butter. All right, this is gonna give some nice color to these as well. Oh, it looks so good, smells so good already. All right, now again, these are great on their own, but I'm gonna use them in this seafood pasta and they're gonna just have such an amazing texture that they're gonna add to the linguine and also appearance. So I'm gonna turn the heat off here. I'm gonna let that sear keep going here. And I'm just gonna put these aside and we're gonna start the linguine. All right, so moving forward, we just did the mushrooms, we just did the scallops. let's heat up a deep-sided saute. All right, so we're gonna get that nice and hot. So a little bit about Good Catch. So we have 3 products on the market, all right? So we have a naked in water. This is the one that I use in a lot of recipes. Here is a Mediterranean, and here is an oil and herb, all right? Definitely check these out. You know, it's really important as you make recipes, have all of your mise en place. Literally mise en place means setting in place, all right? So all of your prep, have it ready to go, all right? Because it's gonna make it way easier and enjoyable to cook if you're prepared. All right, just gonna move that over, a little bit of garlic in there. Some thin sliced garlic. The thin slices, a little more surface area for flavor there with each bite. All right, I'm gonna set that aside. That's not gonna be added until the onions are caramelized a bit. All right, so this is getting hot. Add some olive oil to the pan. All right, we're gonna start off with the onions. We wanna get some color on here. This is gonna be a fairly quick recipe. All right, get some onions going. As those onions start getting a little bit of color, I'm gonna add some tomatoes, all right? So I have some cherry tomatoes, these little vine tomatoes. They're gonna add a nice acidity to this pasta. I grew up, big Italian family we grew up, and you know, having a white wine clam sauce with linguine, a lot of butter in there, was definitely a childhood memory, a childhood favorite. So this is what this dish reminds me of. All right, I'm gonna lower that to a medium heat. We're gonna get some tomatoes in there. And these tomatoes are gonna start to almost melt in there. So we have some nice color in those onions. Now this is an optional ingredient, all right? And it's Italian chili paste. It's like a red pepper, roasted red pepper chili paste. If you can't find that, you can add a little bit of harissa, which is a North African condiment. Lots of flavor, lots of spice. I like to add this to this pasta dish to give it a little bit of a bite, all right? Again, just an option. All right. It's looking so nice, smells so good. Okay, so those tomatoes are just gonna start melting, you know? They're gonna start slowly softening, and that acidity in the tomatoes is gonna work so well with this pasta dish, all right? Oh, it smells so good. If you can get the smell, it is so nice. All right, so now is a good time to add the garlic. I hardly ever add garlic when I add onions because garlic tends to burn much faster. Mentioned this in a couple videos. All right, so those tomatoes are looking good. This has just been sauteing here for about 2 or 3 minutes. All right, you can see those tomatoes here. They're starting to break. They're starting to melt away. That's adding incredible acidity and sweetness. So the key when it comes to building recipes, I've mentioned this in other videos, is really you're starting from the ground up and you're building that foundation of flavor. So I'm caramelizing the onions, caramelizing the garlic, releasing that sweetness from the tomatoes. So they're building blocks of a recipe, okay? Rather than dumping everything in one pot so it's kind of monotone flavor, right? So let's go ahead and finish this up. So I'm gonna deglaze it with some wine, okay? And this wine is I'm just gonna cook off the wine a bit, and it's also deglazing the pan, picking up all those sugars in the bottom of the pan, okay? All right, so this is simmering away. You're cooking off the alcohol, but you're also concentrating the sweetness and the acidity in that wine. That's why I choose to use wine with this recipe. If you wanna avoid the wine, you certainly can just add a little more tomatoes. You can add a shot of vinegar, a shot of lemon juice in this full recipe if you wish, but really it's a wine sauce, so hopefully you can enjoy it with the wine. Okay, so that is simmering down. I'm gonna, once that simmers down, probably about halfway, that's concentrated flavor. I'm gonna add some vegetable stock and we're gonna continue to reduce it, all right? So the next step, I have some capers. These are capers in oil. You can have just capers and vinegar, that's fine. Just make sure if you're doing the capers and vinegar or salted capers that you rinse them really well. All right, it's just adding a little bit more acidity and salt here. So at this point, I'm gonna add some vegetable stock. All right, a little bit of vegetable stock in there, a couple cups. Season it with a little bit of sea salt. Let's add some black pepper in there. We're gonna let this reduce for about 5 to 6 minutes. That wine is gonna continue to reduce, that vegetable stock is going to reduce, and what you're doing here is reduction. With the reduction is you're concentrating flavors. So it is so valuable to not rush the cooking process because, you know, I talked about the building blocks of building the flavor early, but it's all about reducing. You're concentrating flavors, you're cooking out the water, and you're concentrating those key components of flavor that you're looking for with the acid and the sweet and the saltiness. So this is just smelling so freaking good. All right, so this has been simmering, reducing down, concentrating these delicious flavors. All right, so this has been concentrating for a few minutes here. Oh, it smells so freaking good with that wine and with the garlic and the cherry tomatoes. It is so nice. So this is the time that I add the Good Catch, all right? It is on a medium heat. We're gonna add Good Catch. Again, this is 2 packets of the Naked in Water. We're gonna just add that right into the pot there. I'm gonna add also some vegan butter. There's a number of different vegan butters on the market, you know, so we're going to add this one. And it is a wine butter sauce, so it is absolutely a delicious sauce. So this is simmering away. That butter is gonna really thicken up the sauce, and this is ready to go. So I have those scallops that we made earlier. So we're gonna add those scallops straight in as well. That just looks like the start of a seafood linguine, right? Look at the flake fish, the scallops, fucking gorgeous. Just all it's missing now is a bit of pasta. All right, so a bit of linguine. All right, so I have some cooked linguine here. All right, this is cooked with seasoned water, just some dry pasta cooked. It's al dente, so it's got a little bit of a bite. All right, so we're just gonna remove this from the heat. All right, we're gonna shut the heat off and we're gonna add the pasta. So this is enough for a family, and at my house, everybody eats a lot of pasta, and especially when I make this dish, my family loves it. This reminds me so much of linguine with clam sauce that my nanny used to make. And I'm just gonna toss that up. The pasta does not really need to cook, so it can be on a low heat. It can just get tossed with the sauce. The sauce does not need to reduce, and oh, I mean, it smells like a seafood pasta. It is very trippy. Kinda, you know, throws you off a little bit because the fishiness of the Good Catch product with the DHA in there, so it's high in omegas, super clean product, amazing to use in this application. And then those mushroom scallops, oh my gosh. Freaking delicious. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of vegan parmesan to finish it. I'm gonna chop up a little bit of parsley, give it a touch of color. All right, some fresh parsley. And because it's a delicate herb, I add that at the very end and just fold that up. And oh, if you could smell this, this is to die for, you guys. Oh, absolutely delicious. So we're gonna plate this up and get ready to dig in. All right, so the parsley's in there. I'm gonna just serve myself up a bowl. So good, oh my gosh. Super creamy with that butter and that wine in there. This is a nice bowl of pasta. That's about my portion. All right, let's get a couple of these mushroom scallops. Come on. All right, so there you have it. A beautiful bowl of seafood linguine, plant-based seafood linguine, a little bit of parm. Gotta hit it with always that little classic parsley sprig. All right, there you have a vegan seafood linguine featuring Good Catch. So good, so delicious. All the flavors and aromas that you're looking for here with the seafood linguine. If you like this recipe, be sure to subscribe to our channel. For those of you in the UK, check out Tesco for our Wicked Kitchen line. Thank you so much for joining us. I had a blast. Hopefully you guys did too. We'll see you soon. Dude, look at the flake fish, the scallops, fucking gorgeous. Oh, man. All right. All right, welcome back to the Wicked Kitchen, guys. You guys